Good day. A few months ago, I wrote a persuasive essay for my ELA class, and I just wanted to read it out because it kind of related to the channel a little bit. Because the essay is on I don't know if you can read this. Why the Pittsburgh Penguins are the greatest team ever. It's true. I proved it in this essay. I'm gonna read it out to you. And it's undeniable facts. Friggin' you can't. I can't say anything else. I'm just gonna read it. It's true. It's true. Okay, alright. I'm nervous. Why the Pittsburgh Penguins are the greatest team ever. The Pittsburgh Penguins are a team in the NHL, National Hockey League. Their logo is a penguin holding a hockey stick, and they are the greatest team ever. Remember that. The Pittsburgh Penguins are the greatest NHL team ever because they have had many legendary players play for them. They've won 5 Stanley Cups, and they've had all the success, even with bad injuries. You should agree with me because it's true. To begin, the Pittsburgh Penguins have had legendary players play for them. A lot of them are some of the greatest players to ever play the game. Mario Lemieux, Sidney Crosby, Jaromir Jagr, and is there anyone else on there? I don't know. They're some of the greatest NHL players of all time. They've all played for the Pittsburgh Penguins. That is not even all of them. I'm pretty sure Paul Coffey's played for the Penguins. I don't know. I don't think Jerome Iginla counts as a GOAT, but he was pretty damn good too. Marian Hossa played for the Penguins. There's more. That's just the ones I could think of at the top of my head. It's way more. You may argue that this does not make them the greatest team ever, but I think it just makes their legacy greater. Second of all, the Penguins have won 5 Stanley Cups. In 1991, 1992, 2009, 2016, and 2017. And people who disagree with me, what the hell? What am I saying? And people who disagree with me have a good argument. The 5 teams have won more Stanley Cups than the Penguins, with the Montreal Canadiens having 19 more than the Penguins. But just because Montreal has more cups does not mean that they're better. Montreal won 14 of those cups when there were only 6 teams in the league. The Penguins won their cups when there was 21, 24, and 30 teams in the league. Come on! And they are tied for second most cups in the league since they came into the league in 1967. Only Montreal has more Stanley Cups than them with 10. But they won 8 of those 10 before 1980. And they haven't won since 1993. Plus, it's much harder to win the Stanley Cup when you are a new team, because you gotta kind of go through a rebuild, which is what the Penguins did. So they had basically like 5 less years. Not really, but like, you know what I mean. Rebuilding takes a long time. And I forget where I was. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering about the other 4 teams that have won more Stanley Cups than the Penguins, they all also won them when there was only 6 teams in the league. Penguins would have won like 200 Stanley Cups if they were in the league in 1912. I know that league didn't really exist in 1912. I know, I'm not dumb. And finally, they've been successful with injuries too. Mario Lemieux missed 761 games in his career, and he played 915. So he missed like almost half of his career because of injuries and health problems. And he retired twice. And the injuries he got were pretty bad. many back issues, and even cancer, just to name a couple. Sidney Crosby missed over 100 games because of concussions. And they've lost many of their best players in the playoffs, in seasons that they won the cup. I'm thinking of they lost Letang 1 year, I remember that. They lost Crosby for like a little bit, one season. And I didn't do enough research for like the older years. But Mary Lemieux and injuries. I know I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna get to it on the essay anyway. And sure, many other teams have been successful with injuries too. I'm not denying that. Injuries aren't a Pittsburgh Penguins exclusive, I would hope not. But they've not experienced injuries to the extent of the Pittsburgh Penguins. All their star players have dealt with long-term injuries at some point. And there are many more reasons why the Pittsburgh Penguins are the greatest team ever. Like how they've made the playoffs for 16 straight seasons. May or may not miss the playoffs this week. Spoiler alert, they did miss the playoffs and the streak's over. And how their mascot was in a movie. Yes, that happened. But those were the three main reasons why the Penguins are the greatest NHL team ever. They've had many legends play for them. They've won a cup a whopping 5 times. And all that happened while all their players have been injured. Lemieux, they could have won they could have won way more cups if they had a healthy team. If Lemieux didn't retire, who knows what would have happened. That's all. Thanks.